morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. I trust everybody is doing well. So, as always, welcome to our monthly support call. This call, we have it every first Saturday of each month. That first Saturday, we bring our practitioners to come to answer our questions as well as share their journeys with us. So it's practitioners within IT, especially within the ServiceNow ecosystem. Um, the whole essence of it is we get to meet them. We have a few questions that we ask to kind of like get to see meet them as a person, right? And then you have other questions and tidbits we can always have them answer that. So this is all online via WebEx. You're able to use the chat feature. You're able to ask questions, put those in the chat as well. You can raise your hands. We can always get that too. Um, Also, we have a third Saturday call. That third Saturday call is actually a product deep dive call. It's also online via WebEx like this, but that one we get to meet the practitioner and then they actually share their passion, share their enthusiasm about a particular product or application area, and then they give us a demo, a live demo into it, and then answer our questions as well. So, um, you know, all practitioners, all skill levels, we get to talk about, what is in the mix and what's coming, and then that way we keep each one abreast. Um, you know, don't forget also, Happy New Month. There is going to be the ServiceNow World Forum, which is happening in lots of cities around the world. I think they've already kicked off with London. Also, not just that, there's going to be dev meetups as well. So to be excited, go ahead, network, go engage, especially within any city that you're close to. Show up, talk to practitioners like yourself. You're definitely going to be needing it, especially in this journey. No man is an island to themselves. So, it's a journey. It's not a dash or sprint. So just as an FYI, we do have a practitioner, already on the call. She was here first. Shout out to her, Amirat. So we'll go ahead and get to meet you, Miss Aisha Ahmed. So let's, go ahead and meet you. We always start out with our first question, let's a little bit about you, and then we take the other questions like that. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nameka. So, you already introduced me. My name is Aisha, and I'm actually in Houston, Texas. In the ServiceNow space, I work as a ServiceNow business analyst. So, very happy to be here. Glad to meet you guys. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So the next question we do have is the question that gets to kind of like really see what you do outside of work, like to rest and recharge, because you can't be doing work all day. So you have to let us know, how do you unplug? How do you unwind?
Sure. For unplugging, let me see. I'll say nature. Since I get to work, I'm in an office sometimes, even at home working, I try to get into nature as much as possible. So you'll find me in a park, you'll find me where there's water, beach. You
So
probably find me at a museum as well, because I like art. I can get lost in there. So that takes me away, recharges my brain, and then takes me away from anything work. Service now, anything else that's work. So I think that's most, and then of course catch up with friends, just to be able to, unwind. That's pretty much it for me. That's what I do
oh,
to get stress off.
awesome, 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 and that's the truth. One thing's for certain. You can't be at work. They say that they will say it's a cliche, right? All work cannot play makes Jack a dull boy. But that's
Absolutely.
the point is this: whether we like it or not, you need to go out and then experience and engage with the outdoors or engage with others. So, like for me, I always say faith, family, and friends, and the community. So there will always be events. This is for go out there, and then you take a fresh set of eyes. So sometimes maybe you might be stuck on a project. Go out, go engage, do something. Let your brain switch off that tax. By the time you're coming back into it, you'll be better poised to even get at it or answer, and then be able to get fresh perspective, and do stuff. And then nothing beats, like you talked about, the museum one, or visiting, or going out to nature, or going to the beach, just being in awe, just relaxing there. It's really rewarding. It's really recharging. Yeah, for sure. um uh the the next question we have is, how do you stay up to date with technology trends, especially right now? We do have that, AI buzz everywhere now. And then how do you keep up with that?
Just like you said, AI is everything now. AI is definitely the future. I mean, even with ServiceNow, just look at ServiceNow and what it does with AI, whether it be predictive intelligence, generative AI, um, just basically continual learning. Just the ServiceNow website alone, YouTube, Reddit, it's all out there. Just key, continual learning. I'm forever looking, whether I'm watching some new videos, whether it's on the website, so that's pretty much how I keep up.
Perfect stuff. And that's the truth. Even if you say you're only in service now, service that will keep you, like, keep people updated. you
Definitely.
have you
Yeah,
have to be,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
have to be, open to lifelong learning, because like now, service now is constantly churning stuff. I remember, back in the day when we had to do, deltas each year and stuff. So there's going to be much, and then they are repackaging applications here and there. There's always going to be, a twist. Like now, everything is AI, so almost every application or business process is going to have a fling of AI there. So whether it's predictive intelligence, tax intelligence, Gen AI, you now assist, you name it. So just and it's as simple as just going looking for it. Even the YouTube you're talking about, just go out there, like even just put a keyword search. And even most of them, whether it's Google Bard, Microsoft Copilot, or the Genie one, everybody has a flavor of the thing. So you don't necessarily have to be an expert, because everybody is wanting to be that, because they're like the Zionists. They want to be the expert. Yes, but they say the headmaster was once a schoolboy. So you have to be, be at this thing before you know it. You get to that expert. So don't let your perfection knock you out of your horses. So go out there, dig in. There's so much content, and then your PDI is there. Some of them, there are applications available PDI, some of them they are not. So if they are not there, go to Now Learning. There's so much resources ServiceNow provides, that will help you. Go there and soak it up. Um, the There's a lot of content that's helpful on the internet. Just the open source is free. It's not all you have to subscribe to. It's free. Go and use it. All you're giving them credit for is maybe like it, something like that. Or comment it. Helpful content, stuff like that. That's all it is. But great stuff. That's the truth. You can't you always be open to learning, have that growth mindset. And nothing beats that. Nothing beats that. Now we're going to the one that's continuing from that trajectory. So we're talking about training and certifications. What's your own standpoint there? What do you think? Training versus certification. What do you think?
Well, I think training certs are good because you want, to be able to be ahead if you're looking for a job. I mean, that sets you apart, no doubt, with the certifications. But you have to know the tool. You have to know the platform. You have to know what it is that you're trying to sell. You have to know what you need, even when you finally get a job. You have to understand, the application. So I would say training, and like you said, open source. There's training everywhere. I mean, I'll say get good training, but at the same time, you have to know what it is that you want to get into. People say IT, it's broad, even ServiceNow alone. So, and you have with ServiceNow, I think with ServiceNow, and the reason ServiceNow is good is because ServiceNow provides it all for you. It's there. Whether is like you said, even if it's just the fundamentals. I mean, your on ServiceNow's website now learning, it gives you everything that you need. So train, I would say, and then certifications um, next. That's for me anyway.
Exactly. Like that's the beauty there. There's no right or wrong answer, but I do love it. Like I always tell people, hey, you need to know the thing. If you don't know the thing, right, your set just even exposes you even more that you're a goofer. Like imagine you have all the sets and they're asking you language, or they are looking those their terminologies or jargon. It's just like agile or something, and you can't even speak. But you're certified. Maybe you studied just to pass it. Then, then you're not credible. Even the person that trained you, or however you got it, I mean, they would now start, even the governing body, they would even write them off. You get what I mean? So you need a healthy mix, which is you need to be knowledgeable in the two. The training helps you there. It keeps you in that job. It gets you not just like the certification gets you the foot, it gets you noticed, but to sustain that job, you need to have knowledge of that application, or the particular process area or tool set. It's very important. So a good hands-on training, especially where you do enough projects or implementation tasks or homeworks, it's very key here in this business, because IT is broad, but when you have the training on whatever tool or capability you're looking at diving into, then the certification will just be a bonus, or what we call that see me I'm here, or like it will now amplify it, right? It will now reinforce that learning, because now you're done with all of that. Then that certification now tells them that you've arrived. It now gives you that boost. So a healthy mix of it. Um, Especially in the market now, the certifications you can't do without, because most of them, that's part of the application tracking keywords that they put in, right? So without those sets, especially in the market, they're not going to call you for the interviews. And then you also don't want to miss out in that regard. And then with all the AI tool sets and helping out with resumes and all that, you need to have something that will stand you out. So being able to do it, and most of the interviews now, some of them technical, they not just throw you the jargon thing, they give you a sandbox, they give you an instance, give you login credentials, and so give you use cases, tell you to go and show me what you know, show me what you can do. But if you don't know it, you don't know it. You're going to cut off that call or Zoom call, say it's network. That one is standard, because you cannot deliver, cannot deliver. But great stuff. I'm loving it. Um, don't forget, you're able to ask questions. You can raise your hand, or you can put questions in the chat. We're just going through our question template. That way, we kind of like get the mix for for how Aisha, her own take on 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 the whole IT space. Um, so the next question is a good one. I really like. Well, too, it's generalists versus specialists. What do you think? Generalists versus specializing on an area. What do you think? Thank you.
Well, I think the ultimate goal would be to branch out into your niche, but I think a generalist. When I started, I soaked in everything. I was like a sponge. I needed to understand what I was getting into before I say, okay, I'm specializing, right? So I'll say initially taking as much as you can as a generalist. I mean, like I always say, even with starting with fundamentals, service now, now learning, there's a whole lot, right? You want to be able to at least stand out. You don't want to just start with specializing because you have to know what you're going to specialize in, what you enjoy, what you think you get the most benefit out of, right? So I'd say maybe a generalist first, like I did. And then you can now branch out and then become a subject matter expert on anything else. It's a lot. I mean, there's ITSM. I mean, there's some people start with customer service. I started with ITSM. So ITSM, there's HAM, there's SAM, there's portfolio, it's just so much. So yeah, I'll sum it up by saying generalist and then a specialist after that. It just really depends.
Right, it depends. Good stuff.
Mm.
And that's the truth there, right? The way it is, if you don't test all the soups, you can't know, right? That's why they say sampler. If you don't go there testing things,
Yes,
you can't find that niche area.
of course, you can't
Uh,
find that.
right. And then you in the marketplace, right? When you have a niche and like although you do your research, it depends on where you are in your career journey too as well. But there's so much mixed to it. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer in this whole thing. But being a journalist when you start, at least it keeps you busy. The only thing is this: I always say a mix of the two. So there's it's a sweet spot. It's called generalizing specialist because you're knowledgeable in
Right.
several domains, several areas. But now it all depends on you, where you are in your career. The reason why is there are some basic things, especially like in ServiceNow zone space, not just ServiceNow, most of IT, most of them are built around frameworks. Many of them service management frameworks, so ITIL. Other than that, many of the others also have the other frameworks, whether it's DIMAC for process improvements or whether it's Plan Do Check Act for business process measurements too as well, right? Or whether it's the PMPs, initiate, plan, execute, monitor and close. There are so many frameworks there, or STAR method or SMART. There's tons of methods to do things in the whole ecosystem. But what really matters is you, right? And your application of all of these things. So, depending on the organization or depending on the whether you're working for a customer or whether you're working for like a partner, right? If you come in and you're specializing, what betide you if they don't have a job for you or have a job in that your niche? You're going to be in the bench, and before you, if you're not even the senior folks, they're going to let you go. If they can't get a job for you, and then you're billing the company, you're costing them money rather than bringing more money for them. They are doing the math. You're not going to have something to do. You're not going to have something to do. So starting out at the beginning as a journalist, like you see this job, you soak it. You're getting the experience, and you need that experience because it's going to give you how would I put it, bragging rights, and it's going to help you in the long run. You might not, it's like you being a turnaround specialist or turnkey agent. You're coming in, and that's why I always let people understand. Everybody's an analyst first and foremost. You're a consultant. You don't have all the answers, but you have the questions to get to the answers. That's the only way. Conversation, catalyst for change. If you're doing that, there is no way. There is no way. You're coming in, maybe it's a 3 months project. You baseline it, you see what they are doing. You give them suggestions based on those frameworks. You try to implement, alongside them, making changes gradually, bit by bit, incremental. Your 3 months is done. They like what they are seeing, on to the next. That's generalist because you're not really going deep down and focus that this is the only, if they don't have job in this area, I won't do. Because that can keep you on the bench. And if it's a consulting gig, you're let go. You don't even have a job and you need bills. Your bills are coming now. You need to pay. So you depends on your, where you are in your career, depends on how your growth going, depending on, the appetite, because trust me, yes, your niche area is good, especially if you do some research as you have, progressed in that career journey, you can now branch out, when you now say, okay, I want to be item only, or and even in that item, there are several areas there, so applications there that you have done some research, you've seen that, in the market, this is going good, you can go there too, because all of them are in suites. So pick each one has a good mix. So you would always be, at a good spot or sweet spot, if you will. But the thing is just making sure that you're not going to keep yourself in isolation where if it's not this, or, I don't go. Because we need you to always have a job. So, and working for consulting gives you that kind of gig, where if you're able to get that your generalist or generalism specialist thing, you're moving around, boom, boom, boom. Yes, some projects might end early. If you don't have a long-term project, you might do 6 months or do 3 months or something. You're learning something new, so it will keep you engaged if you like those type of stuff. But if you don't like it, it will not work for you. But if you like that type of thing, but if you're working for the customer depending, maybe you're their expert, so you just be like SME, you just wait, be waiting to be promoted in that level and stuff like that. So it depends on you, right? But don't,
The tools are there, right?
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt, but they're there. They're available. So it's the ability to be able to apply yourself,
no,
navigate,
for sure.
learn to navigate, learn to learn. You have to be able to be open. And that's the way I say it, especially for someone who's starting out. If you're starting out, you can't be stuck, like you said, and say, oh, no, if it's not this, I'm not doing it. You have to be. In order for you to always, at least, have a job, or in order for you to always be in demand. And that's how I see it.
Perfecto, perfecto,
Yeah.
very, very good, very good.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions? I don't see any questions in the chat though. Do we have anyone, with any question that they have, or any other, words of wisdom? Um, do we have? Because we're getting. So currently, this is the Hacktoberfest. Cessna is also doing that Hacktoberfest. There's also the what's it called? There's also the build with build challenge. This year's build challenge is with what's it called? It's with the workflow studio, or what they call it, creator studio. So for creators, basically. So that is there in the market. Don't miss that. ServiceNow is providing those build with create, so different challenges to kind of like stimulate the market. So don't miss, don't miss that. Within that, it's a helpful dose there, to get your enthusiasm and passion, going for the tool. So don't forget to participate. For every skill level, you don't, like I said, no code is there, especially for the build with AES. It's no code. Even in the Hacktoberfest, there's no code. There's there where you just go, as good as, just know your way to navigate, create records there, a couple of things there. Just know how to use source control, open source projects, kind of like hackathon kind of thing. Just go participate. All of it is community, right? The ecosystem. You're growing your credibility. You're doing what you need to hang in, in that space. It's not, you are in it for the long haul. You're not going anywhere anytime soon. So that's all it is. Um, Words of wisdom. So give us your 2 cents, or your nuggets. So tools of the trade. That's all we need. We need you to come and encourage us. Tell us what it is that has given you that staying power. And then tell us that your niche, because she's trying to be modest. She's the senior analyst responsible for knowledge management. She has done a couple of knowledge management revamping and knowledge management best practice. So, but she's just trying to be modest. So don't mind that. That happens too.
No modesty at all. I'm just Aisha, but really, for anyone coming in, um, I think for me, it was that determination that I needed to break into IT. For me, it was that determination that I can do anything. And I think anyone can. I think there's no one there that is better than, anyone. So you have to make that determination. I did hear someone in the past say, don't forget your own voice. So you will have
Mhm.
to make that determination and know that you can do it first. Networking is important. You have to be able to talk to people out there. So don't be isolated. That's important. Third, I would say that the tools are there. Everything you need is out there. There's open source. There's ServiceNow alone, like I always say. Um, it's there. Start with the fundamentals. If it's ServiceNow ecosystem, if it's ServiceNow space that you want to be in, I would say, fundamentals. Learn as much as you can, watch videos. I will tell you that it'll be challenging. So it probably wouldn't be that 90-day thing and then you become an expert. It probably won't be that. But it then depends on you. But another important thing is focus. Don't be scattered. Don't be all over the place. And what I mean by that is decide on, whether it's ServiceNow, because you may be learning today and decide that you're going to start with ServiceNow, and then somebody else tells you about something else. IT's broad. So you have to be focused. When I started with knowledge management. I didn't, I mean, and when I started working is what I'm saying. And then, of course, now I'm, working with doing discovery, even um, touching on CMDB and doing different stuff. I'm also working right now, actually, on sound and ham. So it just really, for me, it just really, depends on, like I said earlier, when you start as a generalist, what you're interested in. And that allows you to be able to know what it is that you want to focus on. So anybody can do this. Get good training. Get on the website, ServiceNow. Get the videos, YouTube, and just keep going and network. I think that's pretty much. And when you start looking for a job, of course, the sets certification sets you apart. So you will do the certification, but like we were saying earlier, even Nameka touched on that. Just know the tool. Get into service now and just soak it as much as you can, and then go from there. During the interviews, don't be afraid to do interviews. You may get rejected as many times as
Mhm.
but just know that you're going to get something at some point, as long as you continue to learn, as long as you're focused, as long as you're confident, as long as you. And then when you're interviewing, finally is what I'll say, your elevator pitch. If you go out there and you sound confident and you're able to answer those questions, you've done a lot of practice, simulations and all of that, you should be good without no issues. I think that's it. I think I talked too much in that, Mika.
Yeah, you're
But
good.
I think,
You're
yeah,
good.
yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. That's it. Like I said, it's a great experience. It's a great journey. The rewards are enormous. The only thing is sometimes it can be challenging too. Especially when you're in transition, which is in between jobs. But you have been there before. So what really matters is that you remember that you're in it for the long haul. You're in it to win it. So if you remember that, even when, like they say, it's slow, things are downtime, you know that that tomorrow is coming. That light at the end of the tunnel is coming. So you have that your long game. But for sure, hey, there's a lot of resources and a lot of people available to help. So we have sessions like this. We have the product deep dive. We have that community, the ServiceNow community for the Pan African community. There's a host of community. There's a lot of people who are willing to help. So don't discard that at all. Don't discard that at all. And then the only thing they always will ask is be mindful of their own time and then do some research because they will always give you your to-dos before you all kind of like do a sit down. It's always good when you've done your own homework, so when you're being told this or that, everything will kind of like click or make sense to you too. But that's really it. So that's really it. But yeah, thank you, Aisha, for coming to share your experience and for giving us that your words of wisdom and and the knowledge. The
Thank you.
truth is, in a couple of minutes, the videos should be out. Um, we would be sharing your contact details so they can keep up with you via that. The whole essence is to grow the community. So don't hesitate to send a message, reach out, download the videos, play them. There's the links in the chat, like that Oktoberfest one, the Build with Creator Studio one, the Service Now Creates is there, Now Learning is there. Go use those. There's a lot of resources out there. Okay, Kay, I see you raise your hand. Go ahead.
Thank you, Napa. Thank you, everybody on the call. Aisha, I pretty much appreciate the way you put things down. But I have one pertinent question. So when you're talking about generalists versus specialists, so how do you handle the situation you get into an organization and you have like a process debt? Every organization has its own processes. So what is the churn rate for that you have experienced or that you would advise that people should get involved with the process of the organization? And how do you align yourself with those process? I'm just coming from a no-brainer kind of question. So I'm just there's something I'm trying to pick out. So I don't know if you can just shed more light or if any maker can help with that.
So, I'm not sure I quite understand your question 100%. So you're saying, how do I align with the processes of an organization? Is that what you're asking? Could you repeat that question?
I say, for example, you get into an organization, like we know all
Mhm.
organizations have their own processes. So how do
Mhm.
you align with their processes if you've not been in that kind of environment before? Is it by doing the 90-day process intake, or how do you do that generally?
Well, with processes, like you said, every organization has its processes.
Okay.
How do you align with it? It's part of networking. It's talking to your team members. It's finding out. I mean, with every organization, you should be able to get information on what their processes are. You should be able to get information on what their processes are. I work currently with an oil company. When I came into that organization, I wasn't shy. I tried as much as possible, to see what sources they had. I, got with my teammates. I went into their website, their internet, got every information that I needed about that. They have SOPs, they have certain processes. I mean, I just soaked in whatever I could. And I hope I'm answering your questions on, and that's what I did. For me anyway. That's the way it worked for
Right,
me.
right. You hit it in the head. So see the
Yeah.
thing. K, great question. I like the argument. So it all depends. There's no one size fit all, right?
Hmm.
But if you're an analyst and you're not talking, then you're no expert. You don't get the only way you're an
Right.
analysis consultant, right? The thing is to be in alignment, right? You have to have a shared and common understanding of what the ask is. You can't know if you don't talk. This is just simple. So every company is unique. Every organization has their process. You can't know the process, but the only way to know it is to ask, to get involved, to seek that knowledge. You can't solve people's problem if you don't. It's like a doctor. He asks you stuff. You're sharing. That's what you are. That's what analysis is all about. You want to be in the same page with your customer. Now it's based on your contract. So if you're coming in and you're a contractor, if your contract is 6 months, you don't have that 90 days thing. So if it's you're not a magician. Nobody expects you to be a magician. But like I always will tell people, if you have a 3 to 6 months contract, you don't have time. So you need to make it's your fire hose. They expect so much from you. So a lot of times you're finishing that contract, they're not renewing it. If to them you didn't deliver well. But the only way you can deliver well is to seek to get information. If you get information, which is that analysis, you have your templates, you're engaging. Some of them they don't have structure, but you will come with those templates. You know the resources where to go. Like in ServiceNow, the repo is there. Many of these people don't have SharePoint. Many of them they don't have. It's more of tribal knowledge or information, and there's no KT or knowledge transfer that they provide to you. But if you start to provide some frameworks or structure by yourself, doing your own thing, they are seeing it. They have no choice than to renew your contract. But if to them there was no value realized, or you didn't try to come and change them, which they don't want to change, then if you're lucky, you stay the full 6 months. If you're not lucky, even earlier. Like because it's more targeted for seniors. Because for them, if they say all those 6 months and co, just be rest assured that I mean, it's going to be like a struggle. You need to show some delivery or some engagement to try and like break into that which I always say, which is 30 days, 60. You're doing compliance. You barely know anything except except the company is not following through you barely know it. Even the 6 months, you're not doing it. You're not doing much. I
But they're
mean,
gonna have their ask, right,
they
Namika?
will. They will. But
Every
what I'm
company, I mean, definitely. No, I was just gonna say that every company is gonna have their ask. Every company, it's up to you. I mean, to align with processes, and it's up to you, just like you said, Namika, to be able to get the information that you need, right? You have to be able to speak. You have to be able to ask. So, in my case, with a lot of work, I got thrown into the sharks. If you remember, Namika, I would call you a lot of times and say, "Yeah, what can I do with this?" So even with that, even going into service now, I had to look at previous stories in the organization that they had. I had to go into the system. I had to get the information that I need. They're going to have their ask, they're going to have what you need, what they need. You, as a consultant now, whoever is coming in, okay, is the one now that will have to get the information that you need, either by asking, like I said earlier, talking to your team or going to service now or finding what you need to solve whatever that issue is.
Right, previous problems. So
Definitely.
if they don't have a process, or if they had a process before, talk to that process owner. If not,
Yeah.
you dig up old stories, see how they are doing things where they are,
Yeah.
because they don't. Some of them they don't have it documented. It's more in people's heads or people's knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't
Mm-hmm.
have it. That's it. Knowledge. So it's like that. So they don't want you to reinvent. Then leverage on ServiceNow's customer success. You're not reinventing. You're coming with your own. Your people have done it before. Copy and paste. Just put their info. Go your way.
Correct.
Yeah, because trust me, then many of those companies, some of those contracts are like that. Even like a 1 year contract, you have some leeway. First 1 month, 2 months, you're not doing much, I mean, you're just joining, you're just, how will I put it? You're warming up. You're beginning to fit into their team. Remember, it's team dynamics. Forming, storming, numbing before performance. It takes time. You have to blend in. If you don't know these folks, yeah, and again, not to talk of, it's not like you come in the room and you can feel their pulse. You're just hoping based on how they sound on the Zoom call or whatever. So you will try your best, but that's just all it is. And it's not everybody that will like you, but you do your own part. Yeah, but if they don't have anything documented or place that will show you what to do, like this is how this thing happens here, XYZ thing, you're going to leverage on your own expertise, what you're coming with, and those resources ServiceNow provides. Now learning, now create. You're going to use those because your experience comes from delivering on projects for a bit, and then those because you're now tied or tailored towards ServiceNow projects or roles. So and that's that. But there is know-how. Most of them they already have that. They are entrenched thing. If they don't have it documented in a way and then share it to you through knowledge transfer and stuff, you need to be in their meetings, like I said, soaking the knowledge or asking to get clarity on things. Because if not, you're going to make mistakes. And that's part. I started the organization. You're just coming in, but that's bound to happen. I hope that clears the air and answers most of your question.
Yeah, it does clear the air and answers my question, but not in totality because maybe I was expecting something different from perspectives and all that. So let me share a little bit of example. I
Sure.
think I've discussed this with you before in America. So my last contract,
Okay.
it was pretty funny.
Mhm.
Everything, like you have a disparate service now development team and a disparate operations team. So in my own case, it was a demo, and we're trying to improve the employee onboarding through service now.
Okay.
So when we were there, I just said we had to do requirement gathering and do some things to make the current service catalog onboarding form they have.
Mhm.
So as a consultant, you make plenty of recommendations, try to sound like one professor out of Harvard and all that.
Mhm.
But the more you try, the more you are getting shut down. The more you try, from your shutdown, you pick some things. Okay, can we do this? They will say no, blah blah blah. So in that kind of environment, how do you just go with what they want? Like, okay, this is what you want. Okay, this is what I'll give you. Or you try to make yourself dynamic I
Right.
hope you understand what I'm trying to
Right,
say.
right. But here's the thing. Change is constant, but change is hard. I know I did, explain that to you. Many of these companies, they don't want to change. Many of them. This is just reality. So you have your own process and you're following it through. And then based on your knowledge of the tool, right? You're wanting them to get the data, or even if they have requirements in their backlog, you want to refine it, make sure that those are still valid requests, especially if the teams are, like you talked about, desperate, the teams are spread around, right? Different geographies, and then it's outsourcing. If they don't have internal SMEs or subject matter, then that kind of situation will happen. It just means that maybe one person is wanting to be like the all or be all and know all. Anytime it's goofy stuff. Like it says, software development is a team sport. You put your 2 cents, somebody puts their 2 cents, the other person put. We see the optimized solution. We see the best case. There are different ways to do the same thing, but which one is going to give us less headache? Which one will be close to, as close as enough to out of the box? Which one is going to be one where even if you're sleeping, if they call you, upgrade is quickly. You don't need to worry. Plus, you don't see technical debt. So those are the things that you're based on your experience. You're advising. You're counting advice. People paying, and there are the people that is going to suffer. You understand? So you come to help them to make change, but they don't want change. So if you're coming there to, they will shut you down within that maybe 6 months, 4 months, whatever, depending on how long. If it looks like you're the one still, like how will I put it, that you're not aligning to what they want to let you go, and that's good. Because here's the thing, they just want OES members in that one. They just like I said, that's group thinking, right? Group thinking. So they one person says, hey, yes, it's the person. No, you need to question him. That's your job. Your job is to come there, query why. Why are you doing the thing you're doing? If that's stupid, then let's change it. But the thing is, you come with love, right? You're an advisor, but you need to win that trust. And you
But
got to
look
do
at
it.
what Kay said. Also, Nameka, what you did was correct, right? So you came into that organization, you provided solutions, right? You didn't just stay in there without, providing them with suggestions, solutions, and all that. Every culture is different.
Oh, yeah.
If this one that you were in, the last organization, doesn't like change, like Nameka was saying, they don't like change. So you provide, you give suggestions, you say, okay, here is where we are, provide solutions and all that. But if they're not ready to, then you go with what they have. You work with them. And that's just what I think. You can't, honestly, you can't be ahead of the organization itself. You can
Exactly. They
only,
don't want to
look
go
like a
nowhere.
proactive person, yes, and then say, because sometimes even when you do that, then you become the enemy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you show that
They'll
you're
choke
the
you.
the
They'll choke you.
expert, you
They'll say
provide
no. This one.
solutions, you do, yeah, but at the same time, someone notices it though. They
No,
always
yeah,
notice.
they
The
do. They
bottom
do.
line is that you're the professional and they will notice it. So if that's the organization for you, someone will notice it and then maybe down the line. But if you never got anywhere with that, then you will move to the next organization. But I think you did it right. What you're saying was the problem was not you. You were not the
Mm-mm.
problem, really.
No, no, no.
It was the organization. But anyway, for my two
But you did
cents.
a good job.
Yeah,
What do I mean?
yeah.
Um, they will miss you, but they won't admit it.
Hmm.
So, and then you're even thank God, because a lot of times, right? What happens with that kind of situation is tomorrow now they might do a job, and then every time they are having P1 incidents, or every time they're having to call service now and co. But if you were there, you would have you would have eliminated or reduced that. So they will feel the brunt. But the issue now is this: is maybe they are that's the team responsible, right? Have maybe one head that really doesn't want to change, and it's not even helping the others to see reasons why. So, and then you'll be happy that you left there early before they even crash the boat, because many times that's where they're going. Because eventually they might have to now outsource it to they will bring a consultant, which you have been saying the thing there, or they have you there. They will bring a consultant that will come from outside that will come and say the thing you're saying. Which is, it will now pay them even it will even worse for them. So, but like I said, it means that it's not yours. You have done your best, But you can't force the horse now that to get to the stream. Still don't want to drink that water now. You leave the horse. It's like they say the fly. You leave the fly when it goes to where they can't bring him out again. That's all it is now. So, but you'll be good. I'm not even in doubt. I say all is experience, and I were soaking that experience, and we're all learning with it. So that's the beauty. A great question, great engagement. I'm loving it. Um, yeah, I think. Do we have any other questions or any other? Okay, sure. Okay, go ahead. I'm loving it. I'm good. We still have some time. I think 4 more minutes.
No, I just want to talk about this trend. If anybody has noticed it,
Okay. Fine.
they want you to be a citizen developer as a business analyst. Has anybody noticed that?
Not really. So what it is this? It's everywhere, right? Everybody is trying to.
No, I want Aisha to say something because I think
Oh,
she
No,
was
no,
sure.
no.
bringing it. She
I
was bringing
haven't.
it.
It hasn't happened with me, but I have heard, from other people working in the ecosystem that, that happened, but it has not happened with me, no.
Okay.
So here's my take, and which is what it is. We are working with a cross-functional team. So they want you to wear multiple hats. To them, it's cheaper. If you notice in the workplace, sometimes one person leaves, it takes them forever to hire somebody back to replace. They share that work. They're saving money. These companies are wanting to do that and do that at scale. They are doing it at scale. So when you're coming in, they are telling you from the beginning that, see, they want a BA that is technical too, because they want you to be the lead BA, because you're writing the stories, you're getting the requirements, you're running demos, which is, so you're already doing testing too. So they're not playing. So you two shouldn't play, especially when you're giving
No.
them bill.
Yeah.
Don't play.
Yeah.
So when you're, because if you look at the job requirement, they'll put the name there, business analyst, or they'll put the name QA tester, or put the name something specialist.
Yeah.
But you now read the things they have, although many of those things are copy and paste. But if you read through, it's only one line or two that might talk about the application they're looking for. Every other thing is
That's
off
true.
that role. It's different from that what that role does. But you that have been in the ecosystem, you know. So when you're running your bill, when you tell them, they will know. They will know. They will rethink. They will have to cut your job, because, and funny enough, when you even get to the job place, you might not do most of what is there. But the only problem is now depends on your team. But some teams too, the thing that is not lost, they want to, find it or break the place just to make sure that they are validating that they are paying money. So it all depends. So different scenarios. But you must wear multiple hats. That one you can't. It's like when requirements come to you, or as a developer, if the requirement is garbage or it doesn't make sense, you go and sit down with the analyst or talk with that process owner. If the analyst is not forthcoming, sit down with them. Who, what, why, when, what are the things? You know what needs to be where for you to know, because sometimes a lot of information can be lost in the source. But if you have that, you can get the data you need and then go work on those stories. But it's helpful to you, even if it's not helpful to them, or they want to, they look at it as um, you know, that they are saving themselves costs. But yeah, you're getting that knowledge which they can't steal from your head, especially if it's something that it's like what they call it, job enlargement or job enrichment. So you are getting that information because it's going to be beneficial, down the hall, or the long run to you. So it's a good thing. So, but yeah, citizen development, it's all about, process users or business analysts, senior business analysts being able to, go really quickly, especially if the development team is bogged down, and work on getting applications built, or different components, whether it's catalogs or whether it's workflows, and that's really the core of that creator studio thing. So to help out with that, before it used to be AES, and especially the catalog builder and other, interfaces like that. Process automation designer, and then I think the flow designer too as well, to help so that it's not too complex like the legacy workflow. But yeah, but great conversation, great conversation. So it's 12 on the dot. So we would be rounding off. Thank you once again, Aisha, for sharing that your journey with us. We are grateful. Um, we'll share your information. A couple of minutes, this video will be out. We'll share that in there. It's the fall season. Go out to engage. Those information are shared, in there. ServiceNow, is running those campaigns. There's a word forum, in a city near you. Just, go out there, go there, network, network, network. You cannot be far from the business. You cannot be far from what you're doing, within this space, especially because what we're doing is just making sure that we have our networks, and then all of these networks are giving us what we really need, for us to actually stay steady and be grounded within that ecosystem. This is very important. It's very important. So don't forget. So once again, thank you everyone. Do
Thank you.
enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Nameka. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.